And I'm happy to see the passionate discussion in this remote area from the European perspective, because in this beautiful city of Ottawa, and I think it's really pleasant to focus on our discussion. And I just arrived from Montreal this morning, and I was participating in ICAO meeting, General Assembly there, and I met Mr. Keenan in Montreal, and I'm coming here, and he's now in Montreal, so it's good. And as you know well, the connectivity was a theme for this year ITF Summit in Leipzig, and we discussed a lot of issues relating this important theme. And I suspect that you already enjoyed quite fruitful discussions during the past two days, this morning and yesterday. And it's now bodies in our court, and my staff member will summarize fruitfully based on your discussions. But I think personally, I also saw a presentation, the charts before I came here, the Chilean case and Scottish case and Greek case and Canadian case. And personally, I thought that, I come from the Ministry of Transportation as well in Korea, and I thought that when we try to introduce kind of infrastructure, we always think about the impact and the outcome, the economic outcome and social outcome, because money is not free, so we have to get money, and money from somewhere, money from Ministry of Finance, firstly, and we have to go to the parliament to get to fight with them in the second phase. So basically, we have to convince a lot of people and justify why we are doing that. So it's not really simple. If we look at the final destination and final stage, it might seem easy, but on the way to that destination, we need to fight a lot. So basically, I think this question is really difficult and important, but we need to tackle the ideological aspect and pragmatic aspects at the same time. And some of our colleagues at the table mentioned already when I was listening to your discussions, and transport should be a tool, maybe. It's not the goal. And even in the case of Korea, we constructed several airports in the remote areas, but finally, we didn't get really a good demand for that. So basically, everyone thought there was a loss and was useless in some aspect. So basically, how we can justify our investment for the people living in the remote area is a great challenge and an important focus. And especially, my Japanese colleague mentioned that the aging society in Japan, in Korea, in other countries is really an important factor, because if we transplant a community from one point to another, maybe government should be responsible for the bringing a lot of well-being tools for the residents, but if they choose to live in that area, the government in a quite difficult position, how we can really have to help them or not. And central government should do that, or local government should do that. That's also a big problem. So I think we need to think about economic aspect and social aspect, and that's true. And through this kind of roundtable, we have to identify the benefits of doing that. So basically, what we can get and what we can have concrete, imagination or outcomes. And if we have a concrete, testimony or example, it's good to share. But otherwise, at least we have to build the rationales for justifying our, choice. So we will reflect all these, the angles in our summary, etc. And now I'm entering into the third year of my the term, because I started in 2017, and so far during the past 2 years, I focused on meeting transport people. So I made a lot of friends, and we discussed a lot of ideas about different topics. But now I mentioned to my staff members that it's time to go out of the transport silos, because we have to try to combine transport sector with other sectors to create some synergies. And transport can be a tool, and we have to let other people know that transport can contribute, more effectively. So if we understand that context, I think we can continue with much broader perspective, focus on that. So finally, I would like to thank Transport Canada for supporting us, and always the colleagues from the ministry helping us greatly, and Sandra and Jennifer and other colleagues from the ministry. I really appreciate that. And also the speakers who contributed a lot to this conversation. I really thank them for their passionate contributions. And of course, the chair, the Gunnar, and he's always with us. And, and thank you very much. And the other participants who came from a long distance. And it's really, I really thank for that too. And maybe the comment that I would like to mention is that we have an evaluation questionnaire. Maybe you have it on the table. Because we know that ITF is really doing a lot of work, and we try to be serious about what we are doing. But in the end, the history is not made only by ourselves. It's also made the counterparts and colleagues who participate in our activities. So basically, we need some concrete feedback from your side. And if we are doing okay or not, we have to know. Sometimes we try to justify ourselves with kind of prejudice, but we need to be more neutral and objective to find the right way and to make a right direction into the future. So it can be also Chatham rules, and you don't need to write your name, and you can write anything you want, and maybe we can seriously take that when we get home. So thank you again, and let's continue and enjoy your stay. Thank you very much.